Imagine walking through a dense, foggy forest thousands of years ago. You hear the rustle of leaves behind you, and suddenly a shadow bigger than any predator you've ever seen darts across your path. Heart pounding, you freeze. You are not the hunter, you are the prey. What kind of creature could instill such terror in early humans, a beast so cunning and powerful that survival was never guaranteed? Today, we uncover the prehistoric predator that made early humans its next meal. Picture a world long before cities, before agriculture, even before fire had been fully mastered, a time when survival was a daily battle. Towering over most creatures in its ecosystem, the prehistoric predator we're about to explore was unlike anything humans had ever faced. This wasn't just a large animal. It was a perfect killing machine, shaped by millions of years of evolution to dominate every forest. Savanna and riverbank it called home. Fossils suggest its body was massive, its jaws capable of crushing bones with terrifying ease, and its senses finely tuned to detect even the slightest movement in its environment. What made this beast especially dangerous wasn't just its size, it was intelligent. Observations from related species indicate strategic hunting behaviors, stalking prey silently, ambushing with precision, and coordinating attacks in ways that would challenge even today's apex predators. For early humans, who were still learning how to cooperate effectively as hunters themselves, encountering such a predator could mean instant death. Imagine the fear of hearing that telltale rustle in the undergrowth and knowing that whatever it is, it's bigger, faster, and stronger than you. Paleontologists have pieced together its physical appearance from fossils and bone fragments. Massive. Limbs suggest explosive speed over short distances. Sharp, retractable claws indicate a predator capable of seizing agile prey. And its teeth, jagged and enormous, could tear through flesh and bone alike. This was a creature built for one purpose, hunting, and nothing, not even early humans, could be taken for granted in its world. To understand the sheer terror this predator inspired, we need to look at how it hunted. Unlike modern predators that often rely on either speed or stealth, this beast combined both in deadly efficiency. Fossilized tracks suggest ambush tactics were its specialty. It would lie in wait along animal trails, hidden in dense foliage, or behind rocky outcrops, then launch a sudden lightning-fast attack that left little chance for escape. Its muscular build allowed bursts of speed that could rival even the fastest herbivores of its era, while its keen eyes and sensitive hearing meant it rarely missed a target. Evidence also points to opportunistic behavior. Early humans weren't the only ones on its menu. It hunted large mammals, scavenged when necessary, and even adapted its techniques based on the prey's habits. Some scientists propose that this predator may have hunted in pairs or small groups at times, using coordinated attacks to isolate weaker or slower members of a herd. This level of strategy indicates a high level of intelligence, one that would have made early humans extremely cautious or lucky if they survived an encounter. If you found this journey into prehistory as fascinating as I did, imagine what other secrets the past holds. Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment sharing which part of this predator's story shocked you the most, and explore more of our deep dives into the incredible creatures that shaped our world. Every story from the past is a lesson for the present, so join us and discover how history, science, and survival are more connected than you ever imagined. The ecosystem itself was shaped by this predator's presence. Prey animals evolved in response, developing speed, camouflage, and defensive behaviors. Early humans, meanwhile, were forced to innovate. They learned to avoid certain areas, travel in groups, and develop warning signals to alert each other to danger. Simply put, life in the shadow of this apex predator demanded constant vigilance, adaptation, and respect. Its dominance was absolute, and its reputation was well earned. Every rustle, every broken branch, every shadow could signal imminent death. Even today, when we imagine predators, our minds often jump to lions, tigers, or great white sharks. But this prehistoric beast puts all of them to shame. Comparisons with modern animals reveal just how extraordinary it truly was. Its size dwarfed most carnivores alive today, Its speed rivaled the fastest mammals, and its intelligence evident. In fossil evidence of coordinated hunting was perhaps comparable to that of large predatory birds or pack-hunting mammals. In short, it combined the worst traits of every predator into a single terrifying package. Scientists have reconstructed its skeleton and musculature, and the results are jaw-dropping. The strength of its jaw alone could crush bones that modern. Lions wouldn't even attempt. Its limb proportions allowed it to pounce with precision, and its claws were lethal tools for gripping and immobilizing prey. Even in comparison with apex predators that exist today, the blend of speed, intelligence, and raw power makes this creature stand out as a force of nature rather than just an animal. But beyond the fossils, its legend persists because of the fear it inspired in early humans. Anthropologists suggest that the constant threat of such a predator shaped human behavior, social structures, and even the early development of tools and weapons. When survival depends on outsmarting an enemy that is stronger and faster than you, evolution accelerates. This predator didn't just hunt animals. It hunted opportunities, testing the limits of human ingenuity and forcing adaptation. Understanding its role as the apex predator of its time allows us to glimpse a world where humans were not the top of the food chain and where life was a high-stakes game of strategy, instinct, and raw survival. Imagine being an early human walking through a forest with nothing but a spear and a handful of stone tools. The air is thick with the sounds of rustling leaves, snapping twigs, and distant animal calls. Every step could bring you face to face with the predator we explored in Chapter 1, a creature that didn't just see humans as obstacles, but as potential prey. For our ancestors, survival wasn't just about finding food, it was about avoiding becoming someone else's dinner. Fossil evidence shows that humans were indeed on the menu. Skeletal remains from certain regions reveal telltale bite marks and scratches, consistent with large predatory attacks. Archaeologists have even discovered instances where early humans barely survived encounters, their injuries preserved in bones for thousands of years. These physical traces tell a chilling story. Humans weren't always the hunters, they were often hunted. The stakes were incredibly high. A single encounter with this predator could end in death within seconds, leaving no chance for rescue or escape. Early humans had to develop an acute sense of awareness, listening for the slightest sounds, reading subtle changes in their environment, and learning to detect the predator before it struck. Over time, these pressures didn't just shape survival strategies. They molded instincts, social behavior, and the foundation of human intelligence. The presence of such a predator forced early humans to think ahead, cooperate closely with others, and innovate in ways that would eventually set the stage for their rise as apex predators themselves. Early humans quickly realized that strength alone wouldn't keep them safe. Against a predator built for speed, power, and cunning, they had to rely on brains, not brawn. One of their most important survival strategies was group cooperation. Traveling in larger numbers meant they could watch each other's backs, set up warning systems, and drive off predators that might target a lone individual. Cooperation wasn't just about defense, it was about survival itself. Humans also began to manipulate their environment to their advantage. They would camp in elevated areas or near natural barriers, forcing the predator to navigate obstacles before reaching them. Fires were more than warmth. They became a protective barrier, a deterrent, and a tool to keep predators at a distance. Archaeological evidence shows that humans learned to use the terrain strategically, setting up ambush points, climbing trees, and exploiting the predator's own hunting patterns against it. Every innovation increased the odds of surviving encounters that just a few generations earlier would have been fatal. Weapons and tools also evolved under this constant threat. Stone-tipped spears, clubs, and sharpened tools weren't just hunting implements, they were lifelines. Early humans learned to strike from a distance, coordinate attacks, and even use bait or distractions to divert predators. Their fear became a driver of ingenuity. Every step, every plan, every tool was a direct response to the predator that stalked them. In essence, this predator didn't just hunt humans, it indirectly shaped their intelligence, social bonds and problem-solving. Skills, turning a world of danger into a crucible for human evolution. Fossil records offer haunting glimpses into the encounters between early humans and this predator. Skeletal remains often show healed bite marks, broken bones, and other injuries that tell stories of near-death experiences. Some bones even reveal patterns suggesting humans were attacked while defending others in their group, a testament to both the danger they faced and the strength of their social bonds. These encounters weren't rare, they were part of daily life. Survival required constant vigilance, adaptability, and a bit of luck. Anthropologists believe these high-stakes interactions directly influenced human evolution. Fear of predation pushed humans to develop better communication, refine tools, and organize themselves into cohesive groups. Over time, instincts for detecting threats, predicting predator behavior, and responding collectively became ingrained in the human psyche. This predator, in essence, was shaping intelligence and social structures long before humans had written history or built civilizations. Beyond biology, the predator left its mark on human culture. Early humans created stories, myths, and symbols rooted in the fear and respect inspired by such formidable creatures. Cave paintings and carvings suggest that they not only documented these encounters, but also used them as teaching tools for younger generations, lessons in caution, strategy, and survival. The predator became more than a threat. It became a measure of human ingenuity, a catalyst for innovation, and an enduring symbol of the primal struggle between humans and the natural world. Understanding these encounters helps us see early humans not as helpless prey but as adaptive survivors, forced by nature to evolve faster, think smarter, and act decisively. Life in the shadow of this predator was perilous, but it also shaped the very essence of what it means to be human. By now it's clear that this prehistoric predator wasn't just a creature, it was a force that shaped the course of human history. But what exactly did early humans learn from living under its shadow? Survival meant more than escaping its jaws. It required observation, strategy, and understanding the patterns of nature. Humans began to notice subtle signs, a rustle in the grass, the tracks of prey animals, or the scent of a predator nearby. These lessons honed instincts that are still embedded in us today, our heightened senses of danger, quick decision-making, and reliance on social cooperation all trace back to encounters with creatures like this. Beyond immediate survival, the predator indirectly accelerated human innovation. Threats demanded tools that were not only practical for hunting, but also for defense. Spears, traps, and eventually fortified shelters all arose from a need to anticipate danger and counter a predator far stronger than oneself. Anthropologists argue that this constant pressure to adapt helped shape the human brain. Problem-solving, planning, and communication skills became essential, driving the evolution of intelligence itself. Culturally, humans also began to encode lessons into myths and stories. By turning predators into characters in their oral traditions, they created a shared knowledge base for the entire group. These narratives served as warnings, teaching younger members how to survive and fostering a sense of community bound by the common struggle against a deadly adversary. Fear in this case was not paralyzing, it was instructive, motivating humans to observe, innovate, and survive. The presence of this predator didn't just shape survival tactics, it shaped human culture. Anthropologists have found early cave paintings depicting large, fearsome creatures, often alongside humans in dramatic life-or-death encounters. These images weren't merely artistic, they were educational tools, teaching young members of the group about danger, strategy, and respect for nature's hierarchy. By mythologizing the predator, early humans could encode vital survival knowledge into stories that survived long after the immediate threat had passed. Social structures also evolved under this pressure. Groups had to cooperate more effectively to fend off attacks or protect vulnerable members. This led to the development of leadership roles, communication systems, and collective decision-making. Everyone had a part to play: scouts, hunters, defenders, turning survival into a team effort. Fear became a unifying force, strengthening bonds and fostering trust. because in the presence of a predator, no one could survive alone. Even religious and spiritual beliefs may have been influenced. The awe and terror inspired by such a creature likely contributed to early humans, attributing supernatural qualities to animals and natural forces. The predator became a symbol of power, danger, and the unpredictable forces of the world. In learning to navigate these threats, humans weren't just surviving. They were developing frameworks for understanding life, mortality, and their place. In the natural order, ultimately the predator's influence was far-reaching. Its impact extended beyond mere survival, shaping intelligence, social cohesion, culture, and the human imagination. What was once a terrifying threat became, in a way, a catalyst for growth, creativity, and the emergence of uniquely human traits that still define us today. Modern science has given us a clearer picture of this prehistoric predator and its lasting influence. Fossils, trackways, and bite-marked bones allow paleontologists to reconstruct not only its physical capabilities, but also its behavior and ecological role. By studying this predator, researchers gain insight into the delicate balance of prehistoric ecosystems and the pressures that shaped early human evolution. Its dominance forced humans to innovate, adapt, and refine the traits that would eventually make them apex predators themselves. Interestingly, the predator's legacy extends into our understanding of risk and survival. Its presence pushed humans to develop problem-solving skills, foresight, and complex communication, abilities that underpin much of human civilization today. In essence, living under constant threat honed the human mind, turning fear into a tool for growth. From a scientific perspective, the predator serves as a reminder that evolution is often driven by challenges rather than comfort. Those challenges, while deadly, sparked creativity, collaboration, and resilience. Even beyond biology, the predator resonates culturally. Stories of giant beasts stalking humans appear across cultures and time periods, suggesting a shared memory of ancestral threats. These myths, paintings, and oral histories reveal how deeply early humans internalized the lessons of survival. They weren't just fighting to live. They were learning, observing, and adapting, laying the groundwork for the ingenuity that defines humanity today. Ultimately, this prehistoric predator teaches us a timeless lesson. Danger can be a teacher. While it hunted early humans, it also shaped them, instilling instincts, intelligence, and social cohesion that endure. By understanding the predator's impact, we glimpse a world where fear was a force for evolution, and survival wasn't just about escaping death. It was about becoming something greater than ourselves. From the shadowy forests of prehistory to the fossilized bones that survive today, this predator was more than a fearsome hunter. It was a force that shaped the trajectory of humanity. Early humans weren't simply running from danger. They were learning, adapting, and evolving. Every encounter honed instincts, sharpened intelligence, and strengthened social bonds. The lessons of survival, strategy, and innovation that arose from living under constant threat laid the foundation for tools, communication, and culture. In many ways, this predator reminds us that challenges, even terrifying ones, can be catalysts for growth. It pushed humans to think creatively, cooperate effectively, and develop resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. Its story is not just about fear, it's about transformation, adaptation, and the enduring human spirit.